Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Vo2, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Vo2 is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Vo2, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Vo2 is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Vo2, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Vo2 is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Okay, so welcome to Zwift Run Live on the YouTube channel and the Film My Run Facebook page. We are doing the Pride Run 2020, led by Kate Jaden today, who is an ultra runner of some note in the UK. If you're a member of any ultra running forums on Facebook, you'll know of Kate. And she's leading this Pride Run today. It does seem a little bit odd, because we're supposed to be starting, according to what I can see, we're supposed to be starting at 6.3 kilometres per hour. Yeah. But already, Kate is 5 seconds ahead of me, and I'm going faster than that. I'm going at 7.1 I'm going at. So I'm going way faster than we're supposed to be going, but a lot of the group are already way ahead of me. So I'll just catch up to Kate And hello Jeff, and hello Christoph, and hello Tina Beard. Yeah, I've got the lights working today. Adam Holland says let's go, go, go. Yeah, it is a little bit walking pace at the moment, isn't it? This is the slowest. And look, it's supposed to be slowing down even more. 6.2 now. It is a really weird workout, this. And all of the Pride ones have been weird because they all slow down in the start. Thanks for the ride-ons, by the way. Got my colourful Pride-ons. Lake, thank you. Well, she said specifically that we're going to go at 6.3 kilometres per hour for the first kilometre. So I am now with her. So we're going to stay there. Rob Harrison, hi all. Hello, Rob. Now, Ryan, I'm afraid I'm going to duck out of your run this evening. I'm sorry. I was going to do the beginners pack run as well, but something's come up this evening. I've got a meeting tonight, so I'm going to duck out of that run so I can have my shower and be ready for my meeting. But we'll stick as near as damn it to Kate. Adam Holland is finding it hard at this pace. It does speed up a little bit, but it is incredibly slow, isn't it? I'm not sure why it's so slow. So this will be a 5k progressive run, so every kilometre we will get quicker, apart from the last 500 metres when we slow right down. Tina Beard says she walked Turn It Up Tuesday today, as I still can't run. She says, why can't you run, Tina? I'm sure you've probably told me and I've forgotten. I do apologise. But what's up? Yeah, Ryan, I'm really sorry. I have already run today once, but not online. So I have got a few Ks in my legs this afternoon. So, I mean, no harm in adding a few more. I'm sure I could do a few more, but I want to get ready for this meeting tonight. Yeah, it's really weird that it slows down in the warm-up. So we're walking this through, and then we will get to the end of the 1 kilometre warm-up, and we will start running a little bit. We'll be at 7 kilometres an hour. Tina Beard says she has a broken shoulder. That is not good. That's not good. Mind you, that's no excuse, you know. Kilian Jornet won, what 100-mile race? He won a 100-mile race in the States with a dislocated shoulder. What was the race he won? Somebody will tell me in a minute. I can't remember now. But yeah, he fell over, dislocated his shoulder quite early in the race, I think, and carried on running and finished and won the race. Sarah Jacobson says, if you don't run online, it doesn't count. Yeah, I wasn't streaming. Christoph says, only first kilometre and then bam to 7 kph. Barn to 7 kph? I don't know, can't read that. Keith says, have a good run. Thank you, Keith. Jeff Scarlett is in front of us, and Alan Holland is just behind. So we're all in a pack with Kate. Kate has run many, many marathons and many, many 100-milers in her time, and a few triathlons as well, I seem to remember. I've only met Kate once. We bumped into each other at a railway station in Paris about 8 years ago. But she is pretty well known in the ultra running community.
Thanks for giving my dad a ride on.
Thanks, Hall. Right, while we're jogging, I'm going to drop some ride-ons. So we'll give Kate a ride on. I better turn off my camera angles, hadn't I? Rob Harrison says, Tina, contrary to Stephen's comment, having a broken shoulder is a good reason not to run. Right, let's go and give some people ride-ons. So we'll just drop these down here. Ryan Downey's running ahead. Look, there he is. He's not messing about. So there's quite a few runners actually are going at. Oh, I know, of course, that's why we're going at a slower pace, because I'm in Group D. I'm not in Group B. Group B is still a relatively sedate pace. But I've joined Group D, haven't I? Because Kate was in Group D. That's why. Makes sense all of a sudden. Paul Haywood, there you go. Reims, there you go. Ross. Henrik. Hello, Henrik. Ride on for him. Make sure I get back in time for... Oh, there's Michael Hasse. Lucerna from Switzerland. Hello, buddy. Right. Now we need to get back, don't we? How long have we got? 100 or so metres. We'll just drop a few more then. So we'll drop one here and Adam Holland can have a ride on. Hodgins. We've done Jeff. Oh no, I haven't done Jeff. Jones. Right, so these are all the ride-ons done then. Oh. I don't know, also, I don't know why we have places in this. It's not like it's a race. It's not supposed to be a race, I don't think. Really? Right. Okay, we are now going to start running. My pleasure, Adam. Adam says, why, thank you. Neil Messenger, hello, buddy. I will join you tomorrow depending on how long it will take me to build my treadmill. Oh my goodness, you've got your treadmill. Fantastic. Excellent stuff. Omir, hi from Brazil, he says. Okay. Let's go. Right, we are now running at 7 kilometers per hour. Nice and easy. It's so easy to get set up with Zwift running. Here's what you need. Firstly, access to a treadmill. It could be at home or at the gym, but any treadmill will work with Zwift. To get you moving in game, we need a speed source. Traditionally, we use a foot pod, like the Zwift pod or the Stride. But you can also use the Run Smart treadmill sensor, your Apple Watch, one of the newer Garmin watches, the TSS app, and if you have a smart treadmill, your treadmill will connect directly to Zwift without the need for another device. Now simply download the Zwift app onto a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. Finally, pair your speed source in the app. Pairing heart rate from your watch or a chest strap is also a great addition to Zwift. And that's it. You're all set up for solo runs, solo or group workouts, challenges and real-time racing on Zwift with people from all over the world. Hey Robinson, thanks for the ride on. So I'm definitely using my colourful Pride on thumbs today. But I don't seem to have any sound. Where's the sound gone? Usually have cheering for that, never mind. Jeff Partridge says he's got his Run Smart treadmill sensor working properly with incline today. Ready for our trip up Olympus Mons. Nice one. What do you mean our trip up Olympus Mons? What are you talking about? I thought, what? What'd you say? Okay, nice and easy. 1 kilometre at 7 kilometres an hour. I guess if I was feeling energetic, I could put the incline up, couldn't I, on the treadmill? Do a bit of work. So Pride runs are, in fact, you know what? This is probably going to be the last. Is this the last Pride run? Because it was all the way through June, every Tuesday and every Saturday. Hang on a minute, let's have a look, because maybe there's another one later on tonight. But that's it for Pride runs. There's one at 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and that is the last one. That is it. So this is the penultimate Pride on run. Unless you want to get up, if you're in Europe, unless you want to stay up until 1 a.m. or 2 a.m, then this is the last one that you can realistically do. If you're in the States, you've got one more that you can do, but then we will say goodbye to these colourful thumbs. The Pera, thanks for the ride on, and the colourful shirts. Although I think we get to keep the colourful shirts. I think we do. Christoph Herman says, I updated to the latest firmware today. Hope it stays ready and good working. We'll find out tomorrow. I notice if I calibrate before the run, it works great. Otherwise, speed is at 0.05 km per hour slower than the treadmill. And incline is at 4% standard, even when the treadmill is at 0%. Okay, well, let's hope that it's okay when you run tomorrow, Christoph. So, keeping it nice and steady in Group D of the Pride on Run today. 5 kilometres, gradual progression run. Kate says, this is the only time I'll keep up with you, Adam. Oops. Got that up there. Jeff says he did his calibration and it stayed at 0 height gain in the Zwift companion app and 0%. So running along the road next to the beach path. So this is the road that all the cyclists are allowed on. But there is a path just to the right of us which cyclists are not allowed on. So Kate has an Ironman 70-30, so a half Ironman and then London Marathon. And she's going to marry her girlfriend. Nice one. And Rob Harrison, yes, the red shirt symbol means Adam is a verified athlete. It means he's good, basically. Right, a little jump in pace to 7.2 kilometres an hour. Now we've got 3 kilometres left. Nick Inwood says, good evening, hope you're well. Ryan Downey says, since my ultra, my heart rate for these efforts stays much lower. Yeah, you'll find that. So the longer you run, the more used to burning fat your body becomes at slower paces, and your body gets used to working at a slower pace and keeps your heart rate nice and low. And then even at the faster paces, your heart rate doesn't go quite as high as it used to. Some nice big ride-ons drop in there. Right, I think Kate is the world record holder for the number of marathons in a year. I'm just going to ask her. Oh no, she can't be actually because of Ben. He did more than that, he won a day, didn't he? of a way of asking this. Right, do that. Right, I've asked her, Kate, are you still the record holder for 69 marathons by a woman in a year? I'm sure she did something like that. She says, don't think so, not sure. Hamid says, how much is your FTP? What cycling FTP is around 220, something like that. Running, I haven't measured my running FTP, but my heart rate, max is about 185, 190, something like that. Neil says he ran 23 kilometres this afternoon. Amazing. Good job, Neil. Right, we are coming up to the next change. So we're going up to 7.4 kilometres per hour for another kilometre. Yeah, cycling is not, cycling's only an average FTP really. I really don't cycle very often. Funnily enough, I did go on the bike today, but I generally don't cycle very much at all, so that FTP, you know, it's only average. It should really be, I should really be approaching 250 if I was working harder. But heart rate is pretty good. Max heart rate of about 190. Rob Harrison says, I'm waiting for a technical issue, but nothing's happening. Can you spill your drink over the treadmill, please? Filippo Barassi says, go Stephen. We're having a nice easy run this evening here in the UK. Neil Messenger says, what does FTP stand for? It stands for Functional Threshold Power. And it's basically a measurement of how much power it's basically for the bike, how much power you can hold for an hour. And you do it as a 20-minute test, which is a bit daft really. So you cycle on the bike for 20 minutes at your max power basically, and there's a little calculation that's done. I can't remember what the calculation is now, but that gives you your functional threshold power. So how long you can hold, approximately what level of power in watts you can hold for an hour, that you should be able to hold for an hour. I mean, the best way to do that test is to cycle for an hour. But you do it for 20 minutes and then they do a calculation to give you your hour. So mine is, I can just about hold around between 200 and 220 watts for an hour's cycling. Leo says, this is a slow one for you today. Yeah, well, we're deliberately doing this Pride On run, which is being led by Kate Jaden. Kate is a prolific ultra and marathon runner. And she's leading this Pride On run today. It's the penultimate Pride On run. And so I've joined, she was in Group D, so I've joined Group D. And yeah, it is, to be honest, it is painfully slow, but that's fine. We'll just do the run, support the cause, bring attention to the cause. This month, we've done quite a few of these Pride On runs, and they've been led by some quite prominent LGBTQ runners and cyclists and triathletes. You know Kate, yeah, you're up that same part of the world as Kate as well, aren't you? So you must know Kate. And so we've got 1.5 kilometres left to run. We can slow down a bit because Kate's just a bit behind us. So a nice, easy, relaxing 5k. I was going to stay on and do another run a bit later, but I can't now, so we are going to call it a day at the end of this. I have already been on today, so I have run today as well, but I didn't stream today. Neil Messenger says his daughter wanted to know what FTP stands for. Functional Threshold Power. What is the maximum power you can hold for 1 hour on the bike? And you can have like what your functional threshold is. What is it called? It's called your lactate threshold, or what's it called? Oh dear. Aerobic threshold or your lactate threshold, and they're kind of almost the same thing, and that is the same kind of thing as functional threshold power. It's at what point does your body start not being able to use oxygen to burn glycogen for fuel, and at what point does the amount of lactate being produced by your body overwhelm the system? Because normally your body can flush out the lactate, but when you get to a certain speed or a certain level of effort, there's more lactate being produced than can be flushed out, and so you have a build-up of lactate in your legs. So that is your lactate threshold, and it's the same kind of thing. You know, at what point where do you reach that point? Leo, no, do you know what? That I have basically just kind of accepted that that's what happens with Monday Run Club and Wednesday Workout quite a lot of the time. and it does seem to be specific to Monday Run Club and Wednesday workout. It doesn't seem to happen in hardly any other event. Quite often, either at the very beginning of the run or the very end of the run, Zwift will freeze, and it'll freeze for quite a lot of people. And it doesn't seem to be related to the device that you're running Zwift on. It doesn't seem to be related to anything other than the kind of time in the workout and the workout that it is. So Monday Run Club, Wednesday workout. And it happens so regularly, it's crazy. Talking about functional threshold power and the running version, which is lactate threshold or aerobic threshold, and you also talk about Vo2 Max. So what is the maximum amount of oxygen that your blood cells can hold to deliver energy to your body? And that's another way of measuring kind of your maximum effort level. So obviously the higher that number, the faster you're going to be, or the longer you're going to be able to go on for at max effort. Right, we're now to 7.7 kilometres per hour. Peter Barlow says, looking good, Stephen. Well, we're feeling good, Peter. We're all right. Yeah, we're just jogging nice and easily through the volcano. Jeff Partridge says, did you say that functional threshold power was the power you can sustain for an hour? I thought it was more like 20 minutes. No, it is for an hour, but you do the test for 20 minutes. So you do a test for 20 minutes, and then there's a mathematical calculation, which I cannot remember, but Google it, look it up. They do a mathematical calculation which then works out what your FTP is, and your FTP is what power you can hold for an hour. I guess the 20-minute test is just basically to make it a short test. But the better way to do it, obviously, would be to cycle for an hour. And I've got a nice colourful heart rate set there on the right-hand side. Blue, green, yellow, orange. But I can pretty much guarantee that kilometre 5 will not be red. Adam Holland says it's been fun. Wonder how often does Adam Holland run this slow? He says he's going to speed up now. He couldn't manage it for the whole 5 kilometres. He has to go. Leo says his Vo2 Max is currently 67, which is very, very good indeed. I think mine's about 56 at the moment. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, on your watch, you can't be sure that it's accurate, really. But it doesn't, you know, who cares? Who cares, really? It's what you do in a race, isn't it, that matters? Jeff Partridge says he wouldn't want to do that test for an hour. 20 minutes was hell. Yeah, it's a tough workout. And yeah, and it is amazing that you'll find, though, you see, what you'll see, your 20-minute test, you'll see that your average power for that 20 minutes was perhaps 250 watts. But your functional threshold power will be about 230 or 220. Right, Adam's sped up now just to stretch his legs out a bit. Kate's slowing down to make sure that she gathers everybody in. did 100 miles last night. What, on the bike or running? I didn't notice that. Leo, tell me about that. What's this all about? All right, and we're slowing back down now. 6.3 kilometres now. Last 500 metres. Well, I was just plucking a number out of the air, Jeff. You know what I mean. Right, I'm walking. So we're going to walk out the last 500 metres of cool down at the end of this 5k Pride On run. The second last one, the penultimate Pride On this month. Ever, maybe. Maybe we'll do another one next year. So it's been a month of runs. Pride On has run every Tuesday and every Saturday throughout June. Filippo Barassi says, is that Trex Air you're wearing? Yes, it is. Yeah, Trex Air headphones, really good. Like them very much. I did the run for John, okay. And those who don't know, there was in the UK here, there was a runner who was relatively well known on social media called John, who sadly collapsed and died while out on a run last week. And so a lot of runs have been done in his memory this week. Christoph says he did 100 miles of running. Leo says he was live running on his treadmill last night. Adam's recovery is crazy, isn't it? He's so good at recovery. I mean, I'm not bad at recovering, but he is just a machine. He just can run and then have half a day's rest and then he's back on and run again. And not short distances either. I mean, he could bang out, you know, a 16-minute, 15-minute 5k, and then he could do a 50-mile run and then be back on the next day and run a half marathon in record time. Okay, I'll go and have a look at that, Leo, on YouTube if it's there. So just walking it out near the end. Thank you to Kate for hosting that. Pride On's dropping. Thank you everyone. Van Vagel and Lucerna from Switzerland. Thank you very much, guys. So we'll be back on tomorrow. What day is it tomorrow? Wednesday. So it's either Wednesday workout or something else. Let's have a look. See what we've got coming up. I won't be getting up at 1 a.m. to do the final Pride run of the month. So it'll be tomorrow evening. We've got, I think it almost certainly is Workout Wednesday tomorrow. So 7:30 tomorrow evening, we'll do Wednesday workout. Kate says, I'll drop you a follow, send a ride on to you all, and see you out on the roads. Leo says it's right. So if you want to go and watch Adam's run from yesterday, it is on Facebook. So we'll go and have a look at that. Christoph says he did a combination of running outside and then the last bit on his treadmill. He's mad, isn't he? Absolutely mad. Okay, coming to the end. 5k done. Pride On is complete for the month. Just one more event later on tonight, 1 o'clock in the morning UK time, if you want to go and do that. If you're in the States or something, that'll be okay for you. But that is it from Pride. And we're back in the ZRS kit. And we'll be back tomorrow for Wednesday workout. So join me 7:30 tomorrow evening. We will be working quite hard tomorrow in Wednesday workout. I don't know what the actual workout is. But Wednesday workout is always a tough one. Let's see what it is tomorrow. Oh yeah, okay. So it's the 5 times 600 meters and then 2 times 600 meters. So basically it's 7 kilometers of very hard work. You do 600 meters. Well, I'll be doing 600 meters at 15 kilometers an hour, and then you've got a recovery of 400 meters at 14 kilometers an hour. So it's hardly any recovery at all. Christoph says thanks for the stream. No problem, Christoph. And then so that you've got 5 sets of those, so that's 5 kilometers, and then at the end of that you've got 2 more sets but slightly faster, 15.5 kilometers an hour for 600 meters and 14.5 kilometers an hour for 400 meters, so another 2 kilometers there. So it's basically 7 kilometers of really hard work. So that's tomorrow. Good evening. Have you started yet? Says Jonathan. Just finished, Jonathan. I was going to do the pack beginners run with Ryan as well, but I'm not going to now. I've got to go in. I've got a meeting, so I need to have a shower and get myself ready. So, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for the chat on Facebook and YouTube, and we will see you tomorrow for Wednesday workout. Take care. Bye-bye.